بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
الحمد لله أضحك وأبكى وأمات وأحيا وأغنى وأقنى ووعد فوفى وأوعد فعفى فله الحمد في الآخرة والأولى له الحمد مقرونا مع الشكر دائما له الحمد في الأولى كذا له الحمد في الأخرى أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له شهادة ترفعنا إلى المقام الأسنى ندخرها ليوم لا بيع فيه ولا خلة يوم لا يغني مولا عن مولا شيئا وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله خير من دب على الثرى ما ضل وما غوى وما ينطق عن الهوى إن هو إلا وحي يوحى عليه صلى الله ربنا ثم سلم وآله ومن لشرعه اقتفى وعلى الصحابة الكرام البررة سيما البكري الذي سمت به إلا تنصروه فقد نصره الله والعدوي الذي وافق حكمه حكم لولا كتاب من الله والعدوي ذا النورين الذي شملته إن الذين يبايعونك إنما يبايعون الله وعلى الهاشمي الذي نزل فيه إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله وعلى بقية الصحابة من الله صلوات ورحمات وعلى كل من اقتفى أثرهم ما أمت الوفود بيت الله ولهجت الألسن بلا إله إلا الله واتقوا يوما ترجعون فيه إلى الله وإن تخفوا ما في صدوركم أو تبدوه يعلمه الله أما بعد to our brothers in Iman and our sisters, I start today and tonight by giving you another greetings of Al-Eid. You know, my greetings, though we were not here in Eid with you, but you know, as Prophet ﷺ said it, Muslims, you know, our hearts supposed to be together, whether we were here or not. You know, we're still giving you our greetings of Al-Eid. I pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had accepted your ibadah in Ramadan and also the Salat al-Eid altogether. Ameen. Tonight's topic, you know, how to use knowledge to combat violence. It's kind of deep and it's heavy. This topic, I believe, is a topic that should be addressed and also taken seriously in today's world, not only here in America. You know, wherever you arrive in the world, the same problem, you know, rotating over and over around the world with Muslims and non-Muslims alike. And we see some people who, those whom we believe to be, you know, in their right minds. You know, sometimes at the end you see somebody will do something that you may think, you know, like what's going on with Muslims or what's going on with non-Muslims. That's because we are living in the zaman of fitna, and we are living in the zaman of mihna, and we are living in the zaman of, you know, turmoil, tribulations and afflictions. So I believe tonight, the sisters who came here and the brothers who are here, you know, we're supposed to be like ambassadors for this deen, to carry the message out to the youth and also the adults, Muslims, young or old men, women, everybody should listen to this topic. In my exordium today in Jumu'ah, when we talked about the 5 lessons of Ramadan, I pointed out 5 things. So I would like to complete the rest of the 2, and the topic, however, is underneath this. So we will address this topic tonight. But I encourage the sisters and the brothers, you know, when it comes to this deen, there is no way for you to keep, you know, whatever you have been told in the deen, you know, at once. You can never ever learn this deen at once. It will never happen. Prophet ﷺ said, إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ بِالتَّعَلُّمِ. Knowledge is through seeking. And patience also comes with exercise. So you can wake up one day and say, Alhamdulillah Akbar, I have sabr. No, you have to exercise that. The same thing also knowledge. You cannot wake up one day and say, I have the knowledge. No, you have to seek and you have to search for it. So the best way to seek knowledge is that when you get something today, you document that and write it down. You review it and come back another time, get something, attach it to it, memorize it and keep moving. But if you say, I'm sitting here, it's like Uzair. I can memorize everything just like you did memorize all Torah at once. No, it's just a dream and there's nothing wrong with dreaming. But we're in 21st century. We're not in 1953 to have a dream just like Martin Luther King. During his time, that was the time of dreaming. But 21st century is the time of reality, so we have to face that reality. So I'm encouraging the brothers and the sisters, try your best. This topic, let's run it. It's an important topic. Let's take it seriously. And the sisters also try your best, alhamdulillah, the sisters, I don't even have to repeat it. I don't have to keep on saying it, over and over. I know them sisters, may Allah bless them always. They get the pen and the paper, moving. But, as for the brothers, that's why I love the brothers. Allahu Akbar, most of the time we don't care. That's why I love the brothers, So, inshallah, let's try our best. If you don't have pen to write, you have, Steve Jobs, though he's dead, he left us with a lot of jobs. You can go into whatever iPhone that you get, 3rd, 4th generation, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 12th, 21st, whatever generation that you have, just hit that button and make sure you can document some so we can share this. And the reason why I'm saying this, we don't want to be like the non-believers around Prophet ﷺ. Whenever they sit in the circle of Prophet ﷺ, they listen and always they're trying to find some faults from his speech. So when Prophet ﷺ ends his talk and nothing for them to actually run in the market with, they leave and ask one another, what was he saying? ماذا قال آنفا ومنهم من يستمع إليك حتى إذا خرجوا من عندك in سورة القتال وصل في القتاب فصبطلة أو فطبصلة سورة القتال من سورة محمد صلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد ما شاء الله. What happened is barakallahu feek, inshallah, that's good. So now I can wait for you. If you run out of battery, at least you gave me water. You see, in Surah Muhammad, وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَسْتَمِعُ إِلَيْكَ, meaning among the hypocrites, some of them listen to you when you speak. حَتَّى إِذَا خَرَجُوا مِنْ عِنْدِكَ, but at the moment that when you finish your talk, they say to one another, مَاذَا قَالَ آنِفًا, what was he saying? Allah. But they were sitting with him. So the point of listening to Prophet ﷺ is not to get a benefit. It's to see what he would say. You see, he's still insulting our fathers. Man, let's deal with this young boy. Let's deal with this young guy. Because to them it's like, you were born in front of us and now you're telling us you're a prophet. Just like Fir'aun said to Musa, remember? Alam nurabbika fina walida wa labitta fina min umurika sinin. You were born here. You grew up here. And we saw you wearing diapers and all them campaigns, and now you're telling us that you're a prophet of Allah. What's wrong with this boy? So that's how non-believers and always, those in authority, or they do not come back to, the prophet with, irrefutable truth. Always what they do is like, they try to undermine, like play games. They don't come with proofs. Look, this guy, he was here. So the same thing with Prophet ﷺ, when they're listening, nothing to benefit them, and they say, you know what? What was he saying earlier? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that was actually their way of listening to Prophet's lecture, and as a result, we seal their hearts. Even they listen, they don't get benefit. So we don't want this, ikhwati fillah. We don't want this for ourselves, sisters, we don't want this. So let's try our best to get something and run it out so that we can promote this deen. And similarly, you can say, look into this world. You may see somebody will go to like a big convention or maybe go to a Jumu'ah, listen to the khutbah. Once he or she exits the building, you see phone call running here and there, T-Mobile, and AT&T, Boost Mobile and Nextel. Sorry, we don't have Nextel anymore, right? That's old-fashioned. Let's come back to the glaze. That's old-fashioned. AT&T, Boost Mobile, Verizon, phones are actually been all over. Subhanallah, the khutbah today was unbelievable. What was the topic? You know what? Astaghfirullah, I can't even remember. Forgive me, I will run it tomorrow, inshallah. After Fajr, I will try to get it back. Allah. So the point is not to listen in order for us to get the benefit. It's just so Prophet ﷺ did not teach Sahaba this way. So let's try our best. Whatever you can write, just write it. And this deen is open. Whatever you want to ask, it's not like, some Christianity, thing. You say, what? Don't ask, just believe it. In the deen, we don't just ask to get the clarity. Something is said that is not clear, just ask. So I'm saying all this, just to build foundation around today's topic. And I hope and believe that you will forgive me because the way I move, 45 minutes for warming up. So you will not blame me for warming up this topic tonight. So here, using this knowledge to remove, eradicate, and combat the violence. Now, whenever this term is used, violence, terrorism, sentimentalism, problems, chaos, afflictions, turmoils, unprecedented, or unmitigated disasters, the first thing the media thinks about, Muslims are involved somewhere. So we want to know tonight, violence, this term, is it in Islam or not, to begin with? But before I actually plunge into this topic, I would like to recall what we mentioned today on this, minbar. How many things did we mention on the minbar today? We said we want to mention 7, but because of the time, Muslims will have to rush out and report back to work, so we don't want to prolong, so at least we mentioned 5. The first thing that we mentioned is Tawheedul Kalima. The second thing was At-Tamassuk bis-Sunnah. Third, As-Sabr wal-Istibar. Fourth, we talked about As-Sidq ma'Allah. And the fifth thing that we mentioned tonight and today on the minbar is Mulazamatu Taqwa. Mulazamatu At-Taqwa. Now, after mentioning all this, I don't want to go back because, you can check us out, or maybe, this Mufti, the Halal Steven Spielberg directing the whole move. You can get it from him. And if his video is kind of like the street move, inshallah, TV will support you, inshallah, bi-idhnillah, tabarak ta'ala. But the point is, the 5 things that we mentioned today, number 6 right now will be, muhabasatun nafs. Muhabasatu an-nafs. Muhabasatun nafs, you could translate this into English as, confining, engaging your own soul, controlling your soul. Ramadan came to teach us how to control ourselves, how to give ourselves a limit, or, the time that we have to, function. If it's not time, we don't do. So your soul is here. But always do not follow whatever your soul tells you to do. When your soul tells you do this, you try to see, okay, hold on, soul. Let me investigate in the Sharia of Allah or in the Deen of Allah. Is this something that I'm actually invited to do? If yes, okay, you just let it run. وَإِنْ أَنَا أَرَى قَوْلًا فِيهِ لِلْحَقِّ شُبْهَةٌ نَصَبْتُ لَهُ مِيزَانَ ذِكْرٍ وَسُنَّةٍ فإن أرى قولا فيه للحق شبهة نصبت له ميزان ذكر وسنة فإن أرى حقا كنت للحق تابعا وإن أرى غير الحق أطلق قذيفتي. Always something is actually confusing, puzzling, and also putting you in some confusion. Always the dhikr should be the first judge, meaning Quran. And the second judge, always the Sunnah of Prophet ﷺ. So if what is puzzling you, you have the answer in the dhikr, that's it. You don't even have to go into details. That's it. Case closed. Judge Judy, she will not let you, talk back and forth with her when she hates that table. She hates the table that said, hey, take your papers and keep moving. But that's just a judge of the dunya. What do you think about the judge of the judges on the day of Qiyamah when all the judges are brought in front of him, including George Browns and George Blues and all them judges, white, green, black, will be brought in front of Allah, and Allah will judge them with the truth, and also all of us will stand before Allah, and Allah said, وَنَضَعُ الْمَوَازِينَ الْقِسْطَ لِيَوْمِ الْقِيَامَةِ. So that which He had revealed to govern our life is His own deed. So the point is always, try your best. This soul, as Prophet Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, in his story, Allah mentioned, Inna nafsa la ammaratun bisu. And in Surah Al-Qiyamah, la uqsimu bi yawm al-qiyamah. وَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِالنَّفْسِ اللَّوَّامَةِ. لَا أُقْسِمُ, it means indeed, verily, and obviously, unquestionably, without a doubt, beyond peradventure of doubt, without jot of doubt, without iota of it, and even shred of it, I swear by the day of Qiyamah. Because لَا أُقْسِمُ, la in this verse is not negation, it's actually confirmation. That's why in the qira'ah of Imam Ibn Kathir, he doesn't read لَا أُقْسِمُ, he reads la uqsimu, meaning I swear. And this you see a lot of this in Quran. Like فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِمَوَاقِعِ النُّجُومِ means أُقْسِمُ بِمَوَاقِعِ النُّجُومِ. لَا أُقْسِمُ بِهَذَا الْبَلَدِ means أُقْسِمُ بِهَذَا الْبَلَدِ. So Allah subhanahu wa jalla fi ula is swearing, and He's giving us this, that when it comes to our souls, nobody can say, I'm a one. When it comes, I get no problem with my soul. No. Inna nafsa la ammaratun bisu. You release your soul, room, just like that, sins all over. Look at the Sahaba. After the battle of Badr, Allah forgave them, right? But yet, they still gauged and they caged their own souls. And they did not go into sins. But if that was a Muslim of 21st century, guess what, brothers and sisters? Let's say a Muslim of 21st century, Allah tells him or tells her, don't worry, whatever you do in Raleigh is forgiven. Allahu Akbar, Jannah is forgiven. The brother will finish with all them casinos here and move to actually Atlantic City so that he can finish with the rest of the sins, because after all, everything is forgiven. So he makes sure, all the saints get to know, who Muhammad is. Why? Because he thinks I'm done. But Sahaba, they were not like. So always you make sure you cage your soul. And this is the teachings of Ramadan. So now how can you hold yourself back? And the topic that we featuring tonight, talking about how to prevent, through knowledge of course, violence in today's world. When you talk about violence, the first thing, media, most or oftentimes, Muslim must be involved. But if that violence maybe, Muslim is not involved, maybe it happens to be a Buddhist, a Taiwanese, whatever he is in it, or maybe a Jew or Christian or somebody or Sikhs, maybe he's on his medication, so he didn't take that medication on the day, so he kind of like off. So that's how it is. And like Malcolm X once put it, he said, the media has the power of making innocent guilty and guilty innocent. That's why nobody will argue about this. So we want to know, violence, this term, violence, sisters, we want you to listen. And brothers and the youth in the streets kind of confused. Your friend in the street, maybe he playing together, maybe he did something that you don't like. And you hear on the YouTube, the sheikh is saying, non-Muslim this and that, and then you remember that friend, when we were playing, basketball that day, he kind of pushed me and he stepped on me. So if that's the case, maybe the sheikh on the YouTube is talking about them kafirs. Let me go back to the field and start shooting and killing them. We want to know, is that part of the deen, and how will that actually prevent us? And I will talk about something that, ikhwati fi deen, maybe that's not what we are actually thinking about when we talk about violence, but I will bring that on the table tonight. Because when we think about violence, we think it's like harming somebody. The number one, the violence that you cannot get violence, evil than it, or the number one, the first violence in this world, it's not to wrong somebody. The first violence, ikhwati fi deen, sisters in Iman, brothers in faith, the first violence in this dunya, is violence against your own soul. That's the first violence. Violence against your own soul. Because if you violate whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given you as a Muslim, and you violate that soul, it doesn't matter. You can be nice to everybody out there, you're still committing violence. Especially when that violence involves, something between you and Allah. It's this way, but out of ignorance, the person says, I don't care, I want it that way. That's the first violence against your own soul. So we want to see, in this deen, do we have violence? We want to know. Now the hadith mentioned by many imams, though different versions of it came in different books, like the book of Imam Malik Mursalan in Muwatta, like the book of Imam al-Daraqutni, like the book of Imam Ibn Majah, like the book of Imam al-Tirmidhi, like the book of Imam al-Nasa'i. These books of hadith mention this hadith is very short, and I guarantee you tonight, nobody will leave this house or this house of Allah, قسما برافع السبع وكذا مجري النبع, by the one who rooted the seven and allowed water to penetrate the earth and come out, subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will not exit this building without memorizing this hadith. Insha'Allah tabarak wa ta'ala. It's not, you say, come on now, I have problem memorizing. And even I do, once I open that mailbox and I see the rent for the month, all them ayat go away. Brother Sheikh Imam, I can't do it, apologize, sorry about that. Before you even bring the hadith, let me leave so I don't be part of it. No, just chill out, just take it easy. Inshallah, you can memorize it. Sisters, you can do it. Brothers, you can do it. It's not difficult. The hadith of Sinan Abu Sa'id al-Khudri in Daraqutni, in Sunan Ibn Majah, in Jami' al-Tirmidhi, in the book of Imam Malik in Muwatta, as well as Imam al-Nasa'i radiyallahu anhum ajma'een. Prophet ﷺ mentioned this hadith, and I believe 90% of you sitting here, the hadith is already memorized. It is just like you don't know the hadith that I'm actually exploring tonight, but the hadith that is mentioned right here is mentioned as the 29th there in Arba'ina Tawani, and Imam Sahib Jami' al-Ulum wal-Hikam also mentioned it as well. This hadith, very short, La darara wa la dirara. Who can say I can't memorize this hadith? The young boys, I don't know what's up. When I come here, I have a good time with them young boys, but you send them to go play some basketball. We get enough LeBron James, we get enough Curry, get enough, even, Michael Jordan, he is laying, kicking back a little bit, saying, I'm done. So, they can be doing, but, when we come here, we want to have a good time with them young kids. They're my team. I call them undergraduate. So inshallah, maybe next time we're trying to bring, can have a good time. And don't worry, they can be listening to the lecture at the same time playing basketball. How is that possible? We're gonna do it. Just bring them. we're gonna do it. You see? So, brothers in Iman, sisters in faith, La darara wa la dirara. Can we say it? Or can you say it after me? La darara wa la dirara. La darara wa la dirara. Them young boys, whoever has gray in his beard or head, at least you can remain silent. Them young boys. Can you say after me, the young boys, at least, I can see maybe 10. La darara, the young boys. Say after me, la darara. No, those without gray, the young boys. Ain't no gray, they don't have it yet. Young boys, la darara. Allah. Easy. Wala dirara. This hadith is memorized already, right? You memorize it, right? You know, subhanallah, our teachers in the field of hadith, ya salam, shaitan doesn't want to finish this violent topic tonight. You know, shaitan, you can just hold it tight in the masjid. You see? So what happened, sisters in Iman and brothers in faith? You know, our scholars of hadith used to put us in memorizing the 40 hadith. This hadith is mentioned in the 40 hadith of Imam al-Nawawi. Memorizing this hadith, they used to put us to memorize this hadith maybe at the age of 7, 8, to memorize the 40 hadith. Once you turn like maybe 10, they start, you know, grab some Bukhari and Muslim and keep moving. So, you know, very young age, you know, memorizing this hadith, we didn't know the meaning of it. Just memorizing like Babbaga or Bulbul. So one of us, you know, one of the students, he like, when Imam said, La darara wa la dirara, he can capture what the Sheikh is saying. Imam says, La darara, he says, La dirara. La darara, la, ya am Sheikh, malak ya abni. Ul la darara, la dirara. So to him the hadith is La dirara wa la dirara. And the hadith is not like that. It's La darara wa la dirara. Sisters, you know, and brothers, you know, Prophet ﷺ was giving Jawami'ul Kalim. He can see something really profound, concise. But the meaning of it, you can even write books. أعطي جوامع الكلم. Prophet ﷺ, that's a blessing from Allah. The only prophet that maybe 2 statements or 2 words combined together, you can even explain like from Fajr till Isha. One of his Jawami' al-Kalim is this hadith. La darara wa la dirara. If I ask you, what is the meaning of la darara wa la dirara? Who can help us? Now.
No harming and no harming reciprocation.
You know, it's like no harming and then, you know, receive it as well. So, you know, reciprocation in that. So that's the first meaning that people will say about the meaning of the hadith. And 90%, that's how we actually understood it. But do you know this hadith, La darara wa la dirara, just this, La darara wa la dirara, has more than 5 meanings? This just La darara wa la dirara has more than how many? 5. You know, because we have to pray Isha, you know, soon, so I cannot run through all, but at least I can guarantee you maybe 2 or 3. If time allows, maybe we can finish all. The first meaning of La darara. Some scholars said La darara wa la dirara, both are the same. It's like in Arabic, you can use one word, repeating it twice means confirmation. Like you confirm it. Like Imam mentioned, Imam al-Ilbiri, تفت فؤادك الأيام فتى وتنحت جسمك الساعات نحتا وتدعوك المنون دعاء صدق ألا يا صاحي أنت أريد أنت. How many times did he repeat أنت? ألا يا صاحي أنت أريد أنت. How many times? 2 times. The first أنت means you. The second أنت is a confirmation. Like what I meant is you, nobody else but you. You the person that I'm talking to. And you're the one that I want you to pay attention to my advice. So in Arabic, when you say ha anadha ukhayyukum ha anadha, like right now if I tell you ha anadha or ha anadha ukhayyukum ha anadha, here am I, your own brother, I'm right here in front of you, I'm right here. That means I'm confirming that I'm sitting right here. Okasha is right in front of you. That's not his ghost. I'm right here. You see? So that's the meaning of repeating something twice. And Arabs understand this in their language. So when you repeat something twice, it's like a confirmation. That's only if you repeat it taking the same note. But if you repeat it and change it, that's something else. Like Allahu nuru samawati wal ard mathalu nurihi kamishkah. The first nur is different from the second nur. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يَهْدِ اللَّهُ لِنُورِهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. The third nur is not the first, neither the second. Nurun ala nur, the fifth nur is unlike the fourth nur, and the fourth is unlike the third, and the third unlike the second, and the second unlike the first. So sometimes we have this in Quran or in Arabic. Like Allah said, Subhana Rabbika Rabbil Izzah. How many times Rabb is repeated? Twice. The first Rabb means the one worthy of worship that we say Lord. But the second Rabb does not mean Lord, it means Sahib. لأنه أضيف إلى العزة. So we have this a lot. But taking the same note means confirmation. If not, then it's not. I'm not actually in Arabic class. I don't have to backflip and go, like Siba way, somewhere like Jasha way, or all the Mkhala way, Zanja way. We have some sisters, they can take care of that. Or what we want to do here, and I just gave you like a tip on George Washington Bridge. So let's come back to Raleigh. Welcome back to Raleigh though. So here, a confirmation when you repeat something, right? So some scholars said la darara wa la dirara means the same. Like darar, dirar, both the same. It's like there's no darar and there's not dirar. And some said no, the second word dirar is actually idrar. Just to explain the first meaning of la darar. I'm really sorry, sisters, if I'm kind of like going deep. I just want us to get the concept of balance in the deen. That's why I'm going. But if I'm going too far, you can let me know. I can backflip and cut it short. You see? But the point is, the first darar is the same second darar. That's the first meaning of la darara wa la dirar. The second meaning, scholars said no. The first darar is actually ism, whereas the second is fi'l. So la darar, the first one is a noun. Dirar is a verb. So the first one is a noun and the second one is what? It's a verb. So when you say la darar, that means in Islam we do not have such a thing known as harm. We don't have harm in the deen. Violence is not in the deen. We don't have it. If you hear this terminology, that means somebody had actually interpolated that into the deen. But in Islam, we don't have it. فَالضَّرَرُ فِي الدِّينِ مُنْتَفٍ. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself above his throne, إِنَّكُمْ لَن تَبْلُغُوا ضُرِّي فَتَضُرُّونِ. All of you all together, if you come together from Adam to the last, all angels, Jibreel to the last, mankind, jinn and ins, come together and intend to harm Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah said, where will you even reach to harm me? You can't. So in the deen, we don't have darar. No harmony in the deen. So if somebody tells you, Islam is like, violence, religion, teaching this, always killing or, attacking all this. This deen, Prophet said, la what? La darar. We don't even have it there. So in case you hear it from somebody, that means it's something that is what? Something that is actually put into the deen, but it does not belong to. So you have to make sure you explain it through what? Through knowledge, for Muslims to be aware. So that's the meaning of la darar. And in the deen, in Quran, how many times we read Quran talking about no harm in the deen? Even when a person is dying, writing out or sharing his property, at the same time writing his will, what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say? When he passes away or when that person dies, make sure when you share his own mirath or property after him, the first thing that you have to bear in mind is to take care of his duyun, his debts, pay off everything, and also those whom he had actually written something to be given to in his own will, make sure you give them, but min ba'di wasiyatin yusa biha aw daynin ghayra mudar, without no darar in it, because Islam is innocent. Islam has no what? Darar in it. And here, this is in Surah An-Nisa. Ayah 12, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned this. Tilka hududullah, until the end of it also. Then Allah talked about You know, a husband and wife, when they have a child, but separation had actually, you know, the wall of separation is already built. So no agreement, always fighting. But she just delivered. Now who to take care of the baby? Obviously, if the divorce is already settled, nothing but divorce, she has the right to leave the baby and go mind her business. We're gonna see how you're gonna produce some milk to that baby. Even you go to Oprah, she can't help. See, ain't nothing fake can help. Because the sisters, our sisters in the deen, and you know, them sisters, you know, our mothers, may Allah bless them all, and all the sisters in the deen, may Allah keep them strong. They're the ones that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given this ability to take care of the kids. So since you say you don't want him, that means you have to take care of the baby. And she has the right to tell you, you know what? I'm not gonna breastfeed your child until I get maybe every month, maybe $7,000 to $10,000. I'm just throwing a digit. I'm not saying that's what the sister should ask. Sister, just get it straight. You know? But if she says that's what she wants, you provide. If you can't, you can tell, you know, even though, you know, I know we don't live in Saudi in our house. Our house is like maybe somewhere in Guantanamo, but at least we can come upon agreement. You know, I can afford, you know, just tell me some reasonable amount so, you know, I can take care of it. If she gives you a digit and somebody else comes and say to you, no, I can actually breastfeed your child, but she gives the same amount, Islamically, the mother is more qualified to take. If you give to the other one, you know, just to make sure she feels bad, you will be held accountable before Allah. Except if you cannot afford it and you don't have it, so what to do? And she doesn't want to accept the amount, and you find somebody else to take care of it. And Allah said, this is only in ta'asartum fasaturdi'u lahu. ويدهم حفاظة ويدهم حفاظ يا عمو عمار يلا تعال يا ابني عمار يا عمو can you help me out وإن تعاسرتم فسترضع له إيه أخرى كلام ما شاء الله the kha is tight, keep your tajweed tight عمار, keep it tight. You know, in Philadelphia, you know, somebody came, you know, sometimes, you know, I digress a little bit, make sure we warm up a little bit since we don't get no coffee in here. So what happened in Philadelphia, you know, somebody came, he said, hey, you have to grab this imam. This imam doesn't qualify, he's not even qualified to lead us in prayer. Why is he leading us in salah? I said, no, come down, brother. Why are you raising your voice? Just in the masjid. No, what? What's the problem? He said, no, the imam does not have no, you know, he does not have no maharij al-khuruf. Allah. Il-kalam di. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. He said the imam has no what? He has no maharij al-khuruf. Come on now. It's makharij al-huruf, but he himself doesn't say imam has no maharij al-khuruf. So that means you yourself, even is the imam supposed to even kick you out? No, you kicking the imam. But the point is, you know, the kha of Ammar, that was tight. Keep it up, okay? So, in ta'asartum fasaturdi'u lahu ukhra. Allah said, do no harm, even in this situation. And in Surah Tawbah, and in Surah, you know, Baqarah, وَالْوَالِدَاتُ يُرْضِعْنَ أَوْلَادَهُنَّ حَوْلَيْنِ كَامِلَيْنِ لِمَنْ أَرَادَ أَنْ يُتِمَّ الرضاعة وعلى المولود له رزقهن وكسوتهن بالمعروف لا تكلف نفس إلا وسعها لا تضار والدة بولدها or لا تضار والدة بولدها ولا مولود له بولده. Where this word came from darar. The husband should not harm his wife, and the wife should not harm her, you know, the father, just because, you know, no agreement. Allah said this harming in the deen is cancelled. We don't have it in the deen. No violence in the deen. No terrorism in the deen. You know, there are some people that are supposed to be terrified. That is, you know, Quran in Surah Al-Anfal mentioned that. Those socially trying to like bring fitna in the society and the community and always creating fitna, they're supposed to be terrified from 60 to 61 of Surah chapter 8 in Surah Al-Anfal. But when it comes to harming, we don't have that in the deed. But how can we understand this through what? Through knowledge. So you don't have to be going backflip this, it's not like that. We Muslim, Muslims, we don't have to bite the finger like, like scary, like you're hiding. The deen had made it clear. No harming in it. That's the first. So la darar, the first darar is what? Ism. It means what? That's a noun. The dirar, that's a verb. So the noun of it, Prophet ﷺ is denying, is negating that in this deen we have no what? Ain't no harm in the deen. And la dirar here is a verb. That means there should not be an act of harming somebody, because it's what? Verb. So acting upon it in Islam is also what? Forbidden, to harm somebody else. So the first la darar, we don't have it. The second la darar means do not what? Act upon harming others, and also just going against others, causing trouble in the street, in the masjid, always like people sitting in the masjid, like when a Muslim just entered the masjid, like heart attack taken because what? The brother is coming, like they can't even breathe. Like as soon as he walks out, Allahu Akbar, Alhamdulillah, Rabbi laka alhamdu bi kulli lisan. Laka alhamdu bi kulli lisan, mish bi lisan huwa la bi kulli lisan. Like now, Alhamdulillah, oh Allah, we thank you, Alhamdulillah, the brother is out. You see, so Muslims shouldn't be like that. Like we mentioned, Sahaba, even if things are again, somebody that is up, just follow. So long as in nothing that is going against the way of Allah, even there's something, try to nail things down and see through the kitab and the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu how to resolve things. The third meaning of la darar wa la dirar, the third meaning of la darar wa la dirar, la darar, ad-darar huna is ad-darar bima tantafi'u bihi anta. Ad-darar, the first meaning of ad-darar is to harm somebody with something that you can get benefit out of. You're harming others so that you get what? Benefit. Like you go, okay, let me just make sure I terrify them guys so I can collect all the money. Let me make sure I harm them so that I can get the benefit. That's the meaning of what? Hello? That's the meaning of la darar. And dirar is harming others in a way that there's not even benefit for you. You just feel like it. I didn't feel happy today. Let me just go in the street and start shooting people. Today I am kind of like, I don't feel it. I'm angry right now, so I don't even want to see my wife's face. Like when she comes to say, honey, you need some tea. Did I tell her I need tea? Just I'm okay. Every day you ask for tea. So maybe she want to make sure, you all in the same haram. But just because you're not happy, you turn the table over, you flip, and like Bruce Lee on the top of it. Just take it easy, or maybe the sister also in the house, maybe she just came from work, like something happened. You see, something happened in the work, like she doesn't know like how to carry that on her own balls. So she reserves that, oh Allah, please let me get home so I can deal with it. Soon she opens the door, okay, honey, welcome, alhamdulillah, prepare something for you. Did I tell her I'm hungry? Just go sleep. Yeah, Allah, it's not even Maghrib yet. You see? So just to carry it against someone. So that's what? That's darar. So darar is when you harm someone in order for you to what? Benefit and get some benefit out of it. And darar is when you harm and no benefit. You're just doing it because you feel like it. That's darar. Prophet ﷺ said both in Islam, we don't what? It shouldn't be in the deen. La darara wa la dirara. The fourth meaning of darar wa la dirar, say 7 minutes, now maybe 6. La darar, the first word darar in Islam is to harm someone who did not harm you. But dirar is to harm someone who had harmed you with double of it. That's dirar. Example, somebody, accidentally, he just like maybe passing by and then, maybe his elbow like, maybe from your ears, just like that. You thought like he's giving you some elbow strike. Huh? Don't you know I get black belt? And then you jumping in and, now giving like 1-inch punch of, Bruce Lee or Ape Man. You start flipping just like Grandmaster now, still alive. Now roundhouse kick, start mountain block and all them back flipping on him. And you give him extra, and he only did it once. That's what? What's that? That's darar. You see? Why? Because when somebody wrongs you in the deen, you have two options. The first is what? Huh? To forgive? Okay, we see whether you're going to forgive. The second is what? Retaliation, right? But when you retaliate, do you go extra limit? You see? The brother maybe just hit you and then you turn to like removing somebody's eye. You see? So that's what? That's darar. And that's like schadenfreude as they call it in English, right? You see? Like, and that's the other meaning of la darar wa la dirara. The last meaning, because there's la darar in the deen, we don't have darar, period. The darar is nowhere to be found in our dictionary as Muslims. We don't even have to keep this in our vocabularies at all. Why? Because we don't have darar in the deen, but darar is when you harm somebody, you don't get benefit, but it makes you feel happy. Like you just want people struggling. You want to see people are actually in pain. You don't just kill them right away. You want to make sure they feel the pain. Just like Jeffrey Dahmer is back alive again or something. See, so you try your best to make sure, they feel the pain, and you yourself, what you do with no benefit for you, but it makes you feel good when you see others are struggling. That's darar right there. So Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he mentioned in this hadith that part of the teachings of Ramadan is that if you want to obtain, knowledge, in order for you to avoid violence, this is through what? Through knowledge and ilm, by knowing this. So now this being said, we want to examine and see Prophet Sallallahu, the way he lived his life with the Sahaba. How many times, somebody came to Prophet Sallallahu, holding him tight with his uncle, like pushing Prophet Sallallahu, and Umar is sitting next to Prophet Sallallahu, vehemently he wants to jump, and he's looking at Prophet, I know this guy is kind of disrespectful, but I know وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, but please, through your own permission, can I just remove his 2 incisors, please, Prophet? That's the only thing I want to do, nothing else, just to remove, so he can never smile again for the rest of his life. When he smiles, people ask him, what's up? What happened? So he can remember Umar. But Prophet ﷺ sitting looking. You see? So this is the way he put his own Sahaba, together, living with them with these examples. And here is Khalid ibn Walid, radiallahu anhu arda. Things happening between him and Abu Ubaidah. At the end, they said, what? This is like some shaitan things. Let's come together. You aminu hadhi al-ummah. Khalid said, you the Amin of Hadhi al-Ummah. Abu Ubaidah said, no, I'm sorry. You the Sayfullah. So Khalid is saying to who? Abi Ubaidah Amir ibn al-Jarrah. You the Amin Hadhi al-Ummah. And Abu Ubaidah said, no, please forgive me. You the Sayfullah. So I wronged you, please forgive me. That's how they lived. But if that was Muslims today, he will not mention somebody's qualifications and somebody's title. He will say, what? Don't you know? You forget about me? Huh? 16 years, man, in Azhar, man. Getting on the knowledge, and I come here, I'm trying to teach you kind of backflip them. Astaghfirullah, I'm going to make dua against you in Sudus al-Layl al-Ghabr, so you go to Jahannam wa bi'sa al-mihad. Come on now. So they know ukhuwah. So if we cannot create this brotherhood, to conclude, if we can create this brotherhood among ourselves, how can we take it out? So a shout out to the young ones, to the youth, the young boys and the young girls. The best happiness in this life resides here. It's not about what we see outside. So the young ones, make sure you obtain the happiness of the deen and understand violence has no seat in this sharia. But if you see somebody had done something and Islamically he or she must be punished and that person is punished accordingly, we don't call this darar, we actually call this a rahmah and mercy for that person, because when you do something against Islam and the hukum is applied on you, that means it's what? That's maghfirah and forgiveness, isn't it? So that's not darar. Neither will that be considered as what? Darar. So the young ones understand the deen. The young boys get back to the deen and understand the deen and learn the deen, and through it, whatever you want to obtain in your life, get the happiness here. Don't be going out there and see, mashallah, I want to be like that young boy, Justin Bieber, so that I can be Bieber. Oh, just talking about young boy. Get the real happiness so you can move. You see? So the young ones, the brothers and the sisters in faith, we should not get, emotional in our deen, always trying to resolve things based on the way we see things, like, this is how I believe it. No, it's not the way I believe it to be. It's not the way you believe it. It's not the way he or she. It's the way that the one who created us and rooted this sky and made it into a canopy, and also this earth, outspread it for us to live upon and on it. The way that he wants it done is the way it should be done. And this is where we can obtain our happiness and eradicate violence, and get to know also that Islamically we don't have this. But if somebody sees something that he or she thinks is actually violence, now through education and through ilm, we rebuttal that بإذن الملك جل ثناؤه. هذا والعلم عند الله، ثم الصلاة ما تغنى الشادي على محمد النبي الهادي. ما الليل عسعسا والليل كالنسى. والسلام عليكم ورحمته وبركاته.